Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as we pot up some lupin seedlings. So let's go. We are on the west side of my house, which is my front yard, and in this flower bed, I have a few lupin plants that bloomed for me during the early spring months. They were a very pretty purple colored flower, and although I wasn't very good about deadheading the plant, I did let it go to seed because I planned on collecting some of the seeds off of the plant. And then I also wanted the plant to just drop the seeds so that those seeds could germinate on their own. Now, it's my understanding that lupin need a cold, moist stratification period in order for those seeds to germinate. Well, I have a ton of little lupin seedlings that have recently sprouted in this flower bed. And it's the end of August. I have a hard time believing that these are seedlings that are germinating from last year. I have a feeling that these are seedlings that are germinating from seeds that dropped this year. And I was really surprised to see so many seedlings in this flower bed. And as much as I love lupin, I have the seedlings scattered all throughout this flower bed. And right now is the best time for me to go ahead and dig the seedlings up for the reason that their roots are very small. Lupin have a very long taproot system, which makes it a very difficult plant to transplant and move around your garden. So now is the time for me to go ahead and dig these seedlings up. And I don't really have a place where I want to put them in my yard right now. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be digging up all of these seedlings and we're just going to be potting them up. I figured I'd bring you along and show you my process, talk through it, because there's quite a bit actually to know about lupin plants, the seedlings, caring for them. I consider the plant one of a few diva plants that are out there. I think it's a plant that many of us love, many of us want to grow, but they're not the easiest plant to grow. At least I feel they're not. Now, if I had a big open area, big open field, absolutely, I would leave all these seedlings there. I would let them do their thing. This flower bed is not that big. It's full of other plants. So I really need to dig up these little tiny seedlings and get them potted up. One of the keys to success when it comes to lupin is planting them in soil that's well draining. Now, we're going to be potting them up. So what I did here is I have some compost that I get for free from a local transfer station. I went ahead and I amended this with some peat moss. And the reason I did that was because lupin likes a very acidic soil. So I just wanted to make sure, without having to do a soil test, that I just put some peat moss in here to make sure that the soil is acidic. I also removed any big chunks of wood as well as some rocks that were in here because that does come with the free compost that I pick up. And then I added vermiculite, which are these things right here. Vermiculite helps with making the soil drain better. And I have a big, huge bag of vermiculite on hand because I like to make my own potting mix. I also like to make my own seed starting mix. And if you buy vermiculite in bulk, you can get a very good price for it. So I feel that this soil is a very good soil for our lupin seedlings. Since lupin don't like to have their roots disturbed, I'm going to be using very large pots because I want those plants to get bigger, but by next year, I don't foresee that the roots will reach all the way to the bottom. And even if they do, I think that just having them in a nice big pot like this will give those plants a better chance for success for next year. And I want to mention, even though it says proven winners, these are not proven winner plants. These are just recycled pots that I got from a local nursery close to my home. Just for perspective, this is what the flower bed looks like that we're working in. This is where I have a septic tank right here in the center of the bed. And then I just have different perennials planted throughout this flower bed. And there are a couple of lupin plants right there. Another one is over there. And those are the more mature plants that drop their seeds. And if we come this way, you can see that it must have blown in the wind, but there is a very small little lupin seedling. And that is actually the perfect size to be digging it up and either moving it around in my garden or potting it up. You don't want it to be too big because the taproot just gets much bigger. I have another one right here, and that's actually a pretty good sized seedling over there. And close by to it, there's another one tucked in right there. You can see I have a few over here. I have one over there. Well, you get the story. I counted the other day and I lost count. There are a lot of seedlings in this bed, which is actually very exciting, but now is the time to be digging those up. The first thing I'm going to do is remove any mulch that's around the plant. I recently mulched this flower bed and I don't want to make a mess. So we're just going to remove any mulch that's around it. I'm going to be using a small hand shovel or small hand trowel. And the big thing you want to keep in mind is when you're digging up this plant, you want to get as much of the root as you can. You don't want to disturb the roots. So you basically want to scoop under the plant. So we're going to dig kind of deep for how little that plant is. And we're going to go ahead and remove the plant. And I'm okay with taking as much of the soil with this plant as possible. And if you look at the bottom, you'll see you're not noticing the roots right there. And that's a good sign. You don't want to be able to see those roots. You want to make sure you get as much of the soil as possible. And if for whatever reason you did see some of the roots, it's not the end of the world, but it is important to get as much of the soil around the roots. I want you to notice the size of the plant compared to the size of the pot. It's definitely a very small plant, and that's a larger pot, and that's a good thing. We want that plant to keep establishing its root systems because it has the rest of the season to grow into next spring. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my pre-moistened potting mix into this pot. Now, you want to make sure when you place it in a pot or transplant this in the landscape that you're not covering the crown of the plant, which is basically at the base of the leaves here. So this is a good depth right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to backfill. I'm going to add a small amount of water. And then what I plan to do when I dig up all my lupin seedlings today, I'll be putting these in a shady area just so that they can recover from the stress of being dug up. When it comes to lupin, I'm definitely not an expert in this plant. I've only been growing it for a few years, but I'm constantly trying to learn about it because I want to enjoy it. And I believe that the best way to learn about a certain plant, if you're having a hard time with it, is by trial and error. For example, I've always thought that lupin needs that cold, wet, moist stratification period. So I was really surprised to see that all these little seedlings were there this time of year. I also always thought that you had to nick the seeds, you had to soak the seeds, but these seeds just germinated on their own. And I was really happy to see that. And in the past, what I've noticed with seedlings that I had in my backyard plant nursery was that I think the soil was not very well draining. And generally for a lot of my other perennials, it has not been a problem. But when it comes to lupin, they are very picky. They really need that well draining soil. So that's the reason why I really amended the soil, because I want them to have the best chance of survival come wintertime. Because what's going to happen with these plants is I'm going to be taking them and I'm going to be healing them into the ground, which means taking the pot, digging an area in my landscape and putting the pot basically at the same level as you would a plant if you were going to put the plant in the ground. And I'm going to be backfilling the soil to the top of the pot. That's what healing in a plant is. And the reason you do that is to protect the roots of the plant. And you would do that if you had either a backyard plant nursery like I do, or if you just have pots of plants like perennials that you didn't get into the ground and you want them to survive the winter. Because oftentimes, if you have perennials in pots, especially here where I live in New Hampshire Zone 5B, our winters get pretty cold. You want to be able to protect those roots of the plant. Even if I had the best intentions in the world of scooping the plants up and getting as much soil as possible, it's bound to happen that the soil falls apart and the roots get exposed. I'm not going to give up. I'm still going to pot this plant up, and it'll be a good experiment to see in the springtime how many of these plants survive. What I can do is I can try to put them in an area and just tag them so that we know how many plants were dug up from this area of my garden and how many of them actually survived. So before making this video, I was doing a lot of research because I wanted to make sure that I share with you my findings. And here are some things that I found. So when it comes to lupin, there are annual varieties as well as perennial varieties. I don't know the variety that I have in my garden because I've had it for a few years and I'm not quite sure which variety they are, but I'm almost confident they're the perennial variety. And if memory serves me correct, I'm pretty sure they're the Russell hybrid variety. I mentioned earlier they like acidic soil. They don't like neutral or basic soil. You don't want them sitting in water. You want that soil to be well draining. That is very, very important. They thrive in cool conditions. They don't like it too hot. They don't like it too humid, which makes it really tricky for a lot of you or a lot of us, where if you live in an area that's very hot, very humid. Although our summer, this past summer, was definitely a lot more humid and a lot hotter than previous years. You don't want them to dry out. You want to make sure they're getting enough moisture as long as the soil is well draining. Lupin thrive in full sun, but if they get a small amount of shade, it might be okay in warmer areas, but they really do like full sun. And lupin are part of the legume family, which are like the peas, and that makes them nitrogen fixers. And what that means is they take nitrogen from the air and they bring it down into their roots and they feed the soil around them, which is a wonderful thing in terms of companion planting. So it is almost like a natural fertilizer. With certain varieties of lupin, I'm not sure about all of them, but with certain varieties of lupin, after a flower has gone by, if you deadhead it before it goes to seed, so immediately after the flower has bloomed and has gone by, if you deadhead it, what it does is it tells the plant to keep blooming and it will send some side shoots with additional blooms. So that's something that I plan to do next year, is make sure that I deadhead my plant immediately after it's done blooming, because I want to be able to enjoy those additional blooms if I can. But just make sure you don't wait too long, because the second that the plant thinks that it's time to put itself into producing seeds, if you deadhead it at that point, you're not going to get the additional blooms. I feel extremely blessed that I have so many seedlings, and I really, really hope that I can get these seedlings to keep on putting growth and getting larger. And I do feel bad digging them up because it would be really nice for them to just establish themselves. But like I said, they're just not in an optimal area. The bed has other flowers in there that it doesn't make sense to keep all these little seedlings in there. For my backyard plant nursery, a lot of people ask me if I have lupin for sale. And I think one reason is, I mean, we all, I think, love the plant, but also they're not that easy to grow from seed. And then if you try to buy them from a garden center, they're actually very expensive. So I kind of feel like I'm on a mission to crack the code when it comes to lupin. And I want to be able to just share my experiences with all of you. Well, there we go. So far, we have collected and potted up 10 lupin seedling, which is very exciting. What I'm noticing as I continue to go and dig up more of the lupin seedlings is that some of them are, an okay size. They've maybe been there for 2 weeks or so. And then some have just barely sprouted. So I'm going to have to keep coming back out here and digging these seedlings up as I notice them. But there will be a certain point where I won't dig them anymore. And I may let a few more naturalize out in that area. By the way, here's another one that when I dug it up, the soil fell right off of it. So it is so small, I feel confident it should be okay, but I'm going to be really careful with placing it in the soil, and I'm just going to get the soil around it. And I feel that that's one of the areas where things go wrong when it comes to our lupin seedlings is I think we can get the plants to germinate, but then just keeping them alive is the hard part. So I'm going to do whatever I can to ensure that these plants are tended to, taken care of from now until the winter months. And if I can keep them going and looking good, then I feel pretty confident that they should survive the winter. Now, when you go to nurseries, they have nice, big, established plants. And I have a hard time believing that they just go out to some field and dig up big, huge plants. Maybe they do. But for me, for my little backyard plant nursery, I feel like these big pots are good enough. And if I do sell any of my lupin next year, I think that this is a nice size pot. And if I have to pot them up again, I would just take the plant next year out of this pot and I wouldn't disturb the roots and I would just pot it up into a bigger size pot. And if I was going to do that, it would be during the early spring months. If you grow lupin in your yard and you've been successful with it, I'd love to know what has worked for you. And I think if you drop a comment below, it's not just me that would love to hear about it. I think a lot of other people that read the comments would also like to know what are some of the secrets to growing lupin. When I was doing my research, I also found that the perennial variety of lupin is not hardy in a lot of zones. I live in zone 5, it's hardy here. I believe it's hardy, up north in like areas like Canada. I think it comes down to just basically the cooler regions is where you'll find lupin does really, really well. But if you live somewhere that is, let's say, zone 7 or higher, and you've been very successful with your lupin, please drop a comment below and let us all know what are your secrets to getting lupin to survive in those warmer areas. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing here because I still have a lot of seedlings to dig up. But what I can do is give you updates on how these lupin seedlings are doing from now until the winter months. And then definitely next spring, I'll give you an update on how the plants did over the winter after I've healed them into the ground. So be sure, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified every time I make a video, and especially if you want updates on these lupin seedlings. I hope you've been able to get out into your gardens, and until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.